This is a lady called senator, should I say, called Susan Eggman, and she's walked away from the Democratic Party in America because let's have a listen to what Susan says. Why she's walking away from the Democratic Party in the US.
I'm done. I'm done with us protecting people who would buy and abuse our children. I'm done. I don't want to send more black and brown men to prison. I don't want more people in prison, but I don't want people buying girls. I don't want people buying little girls anymore. And I'm tired of saying it's okay. And that we
Well, it's boys as well, but in fairness, right, she's right. No human should be out there ever doing what she's talking about. But include boys in that as well.
have to protect the men who do it. As a mental health professional and as a social worker, I can tell you I've spent my entire career working with people who have been wounded. I'm not going to say beyond repair, but they have been wounded to their core by the abuse that's been heaped on them, oftentimes by those that they love and look to protect them. And if their parents won't do it, then by God, we should. Again, I am not arguing that we open the gates to flood our prisons with people, but I am arguing that we have a moral responsibility to say enough. Enough. We have given.
There's that saying again, once again. I mean, there's so many people saying that, isn't it? Enough is enough. So many people using that saying, constantly hearing it now.
Away enough on this area, and we've got to move back into the center, or we all look like fools and laughing stocks. And what do we stand for? I ask all of you to watch the documentary that Senator Grove was in, Senator from Kern County was just in, that talked about this very place in Sacramento where girls are being bought and sold. Men are being given a little slap in the hand or a couple days, and then they're back out again, and they do the same thing. They get caught over and over and over again, and somehow that's okay. It's not okay. It is not okay anymore. And no more am I watching. Like I said, I'm leaving, but the rest of you who are going to be here for a while, let's get our stuff together and really start focusing on some of the important things. We talk about learning and we talk about being safe. This is like at the core of it. And a lot of these kids can't be throwaway kids. They're poor kids. They're kids of color. But they shouldn't have to live a life determined by what happens to them by others at a very young age and by have the Democratic Party of California say it's okay. It's not okay. And I'm not doing it anymore, and I hope none of you do too. We have to be able to draw a line, and for me, I'm drawing a line.
Now, what's interesting also about this woman is I looked her up a bit, and sure enough, can I move this over? Oh, I can't move the screen over, but I can do this. Right? So, it's Susan Eggman. Susan Talamantis Eggman. She's an American politician who is currently serving in the California State Senate as a Democrat. She represents the 5th Senate District, which encompasses western San Joaquin County since January 2022 and has served as Assistant Majority Leader. Eggman, a lesbian, is a member of the past chair of the California. So she walked away from that as well, look. She's also walked away from the California Legislative LGBT Caucus. She's walking away from things that she deems negative for children. So, take from that what you will. And she's now officially left the Democratic Party because she sees what's happening in the sense of these people are getting caught, these men, whoever, are going to Sacramento, caught actually in the act of doing that, being arrested and just being let out with a slap on the wrist, you know. I mean, that's not law. Like, that's not upholding the law. All that's doing is taking the issue, which is this man who's going to meet the child or whatever, and slapping him on the wrist and moving him to somewhere else. Move him on to somewhere else so you can go and do that somewhere else in the country. Like, where's the sense in that at all? All these places that they're saying, all these prisoners that they're letting out and things like this, are they making space for all these males that are getting caught doing this stuff, do you think? Probably not. It's probably just for the everyday Joe Soap, like the likes of the grandfather in England called Peter Lynch, who was the first time he was ever in trouble in his life and gets put into prison because of that. But getting back to this one here, she's walked away from both LGBT and the Democratic Party because she's finally opened her eyes, and you heard her herself. Enough is enough.